This is not meant to be a random motivational video. This is a 30-day system that I use, that I wish that I had used, that I've had to constantly modify and reuse and retest, and going through my own ruts and bad periods, that I'm using to help dozens of other guys, that changes your identity, that resets your entire life to lock in to become the person that it is that you want to be, and be able to build discipline, being able to build your willpower, and being able to build habits that actually improve your life, make you happier overall, make you more fulfilled overall, that allow you to have better relationships, that allow you to have a better relationship with God, that allow your fitness to go up. I made this lock-in protocol for you, and I'm going to be giving you daily plans, habits, rules, structures, and I'm going to be giving you, if you join the full thing, which is in the description, a community of guys who are doing it with you, where you can get feedback from me. It's completely free. It's linked in the description. But if you don't want to join the community, if you don't want to go through, or maybe it's a little bit too much work, whatever, you don't trust me enough yet, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. This is the full V1 system. This is the current system that's being used as of December 4th, 2025. It could be updated by now, but I'm giving you exactly what it is that's in there for completely free. So without wasting any more of your time, if you would like, you can join the lock-in protocol. But until then, you can watch this entire guide right now. If I told you you can make a year worth of progress in just 30 days, would you actually believe me? Most people would say probably not. Some people maybe said yes, so thank you, I shake your hand. The thing is, it's actually true. And the thing is, you might be like a critical thinker and be like, oh, well, actually, you can't make a year worth of gains in X amount of time. Well, you kind of can. But secondly, I'm not talking about a year in physical progress. I'm talking about a year in the most important thing, which is your mind. I've been on this path of improving and locking in and making mistakes for 5 years now. And the thing is, I have so many positive experiences built up. I've had so many good, so many bad experiences. I've been through trials and tribulations with girls, and I've had 20 girlfriends, one for a really long term, really highly committed amount of time. I've gone to martial arts. I've gone to fighting. I've started my first YouTube channel years ago. I've done deep work for a long time. I've gone closer with family. I've been into fitness. I've been into socializing super heavily. I've done every single aspect of the self-improvement gain, and I've actually gotten really good at a lot of it. And the thing is, I for sure 100,000% can help you and will give you absolutely everything you need within this protocol. You just have to listen to me. That is my promise to you, that if you follow what I say here, you will make a year worth of progress in 30 days when it comes to your social skills, when it comes to your productivity, when it comes to your work ethic, when it comes to your mindset, and when it comes to your discipline and the habits that you've built up. That is my guarantee. And if not, get all your money back. I want to just end this with the preface of something like this is what changed my life. Having a protocol, having an actual actionable plan changed my life. There is a guy called Louis Humble. You might be able to look him up on Instagram. He has 20, 30K followers at the time of recording this, I believe. He had a community on school on this very platform called Habit Masters. And essentially what it was teaching you how to do habits. And it was a 14-day challenge. This one's a 30-day, so it's more long-term. A 14-day challenge of ultra consistency, ultra high work ethic, and there is accountability, and there are all these things. I took that, made it better, and put a more experienced, higher level person on top of it, which is me. I'm telling you that this is the way to go, and I absolutely guarantee you that you will make your best progress if you listen to me. So without further ado, without wasting any of your time, let's get into this actual protocol. This is going to take a couple of hours of your life to get through, but I guarantee you it's going to save hundreds, maybe even thousands of hours throughout your entire life of bad habits that you're going to be able to replace with these good habits that are going to make you better versus going to make you worse. That's been everything. Let's go on to the first modules. I'm so excited to say this. Let's go on to the first modules right now. Instant action gives you instant momentum. I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'm going to give you a lesson. there's a concept within self-improvement or like productivity called eating the frog. And what that essentially means is it's like an analogy, right? What you do is the first thing you wake up, you do the hardest task for the day. And the idea behind it is if you were forced to eat a frog, if like you're eating dinner and like you have steak, potatoes, rice, and you have like really nice high quality food, like your favorite food on the planet, but you had to eat a frog within that meal, would you eat it first or would you eat it last? Most people would say eat it last. Like, oh, I don't want to do it. Like, oh, I'm going to eat the food. So I enjoy the food better. But what really happens? You eat the nice food. Then you have to eat this frog. You're already kind of full. You don't really want it. Take a bite. It's disgusting. You might throw up a little bit. You finish eating. You have like this gross froggy taste in your mouth. And it's just not good. Versus if you ate it first, it's disgusting. Maybe you still like throw up a little bit. It's probably fucking gross, right? I've never eaten a frog, but if I did, like, it'd probably be nasty. Your mouth, like, it's disgusting. But you get to eating your food. After a couple bites, it kind of goes away. Like you can still kind of have like the memory of it. You know, like when you hit something or you like hurt your hand, like when, well, maybe you don't know this, but you know, like you hit your elbow or like you hit something, you say ow, but it doesn't hurt, but you can like imagine it hurting. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. You still like kind of have the mentality of like, oh, my mouth feels a little bit weird, but it doesn't actually taste bad. Doing the hard thing first is very important. Now, this isn't about eating the frog. The lesson behind this module is instant action gives you permanent momentum. When you do the hardest thing in the morning, everything seems easier. And this is going to be one of the habits that you do. So don't pay attention to like eating the frog. Just pay attention to like the mindset behind it. Doing things that are productive leads to more productive things. Doing things that are unproductive lead to unproductive things. Doing action right now. This is why this entire section is called Day Zero Action Steps. It's because these are all things, and they're going to take maybe an hour or two. These are all things that you need to be doing in order to make crazy amounts of momentum by taking instant action. And they're all easy. You can do them today with absolutely no issue. I'm going to allow you to go on to the next module, to take in these lessons, to take in like these action steps and do these things that are going to allow you to create instant momentum that the rest of these 30 days are going to be like a cakewalk for you. Now, we're going to get into some more specifics on how the first couple of days are going to be like a little bit depressing and like all that type of stuff. That's completely fine. But this is very, very, very important. So, go on to the next module. Take action. Ingrain this into your brain. Take action because instant action will give you instantaneous momentum. Go on to the next module right now. In this module, we're going to be going over why you need a new environment. I put a shirt on because I'm freaking cold and I wanted to cover my muscles to allow you to like not be constantly focused on my chest. So eyes up here. When I first got into wrestling, our school was tiny. We had just released the program and now our program's actually pretty decent. Like we have like 20, 30 people. When I first started wrestling, we had maybe 10, 15, something along those lines. But the thing is, our coaches were former Olympic level wrestlers. They wrestled in the Olympics. I don't remember if it was like preliminaries or they had like made it into rounds. I think they both lost like first round. They're a set of brothers. Their last name's Tracy. You might be able to look them up. They're fairly old. I don't know, but they have stories and medals and state rings. One of my coaches has showed it to me because he wanted me to have one. Unfortunately, I'm not wrestling anymore. I would have a state ring by my senior year though. The wrestling environment. When we would wrestle, we were in a dark room. We had to pull out the mats. They were dirty. They were old. They were used. It was pure, unadulterated. I don't even know how to use that word. It was pure, like, drive that was keeping us going. We didn't have fancy equipment. We had old head coaches that would push us ridiculously hard, that would constantly, coach, my back hurts, my knee hurts, go wrestle. Coach, my wrist, go wrestle. Go. You can do something. There's always something. When you're in that environment, whether it's the people around, whether it's the like school gym that you're in, when we would go to other schools, one of them is I'm actually not gonna list the school's name because it's by my house, but one of them is like one of the like richest, whitest schools like in my state. They have a beautiful wrestling room. They have like 3 and they're all huge. Upstairs, downstairs, conditioning rooms. We would do tournaments there and be like, this is so nice. I wouldn't be able to wrestle here. I'd be too comfortable. Things would be too nice. You need an element of grit to cause you to want to go forward. And the thing is, you can manipulate this depending on like the type of mindset you want to have. But the thing that you can do right now, I'm not going to tell you to like go wrestle and like go get rid of all your friends and all this type of stuff. Well, those things can help you depending on like who you're around and all those different types of people. My only action step to you is clean your room, clean your desk, keep things tidy. Maybe if you have like laundry that's laying around, put it in the hamper, go do laundry, like put it in the wash, whatever. Oh, but my mommy doesn't allow me. Shut up. You know what I mean? You are a product of your environment. So you need a new environment if you want to be a new person. This is the first step. Whenever I get into the rut, whenever anybody I know gets into a rut, the first action step that I give myself and I give them is clean your room. Take control of something that's easy, that's calming, that's simple, that you've done 100 times before. Make your bed. You don't have to make your bed another day in your life if you don't want to. Obviously you can and you should and all that type of stuff, whatever. Clean your room. Don't have things lying around. Keep your laundry in the hamper, clean off your desk, make sure everything's clean and tidy. When you go out into like the rest of your house, make sure like the counters are wiped and you don't have like random food like hanging out of the trash can. Go take the garbage out, go do your dishes. Keep everything clean. You are a product of what you are around. So keep everything clean, organized, so your thoughts and mind can be organized. That's the importance. When I was wrestling, when I was doing these things, it was a different frame. We needed to be in a violent, aggressive, like filled with drive and will and like a fire underneath our ass in order to be able to do the things that we did. And we had that, so we performed well. And the thing is, maybe you're like me to where your environment really heavily shapes you. So I was all in on that. That's why I was varsity when I went in as a first year. That's been everything. Do the action step. Go to the next module right now. After the action step, make your post. Don't be a little bitch. The truth is, I wanted to kill myself before I was able to spark a change, before the fire was initially able to be lit. And the thing is, if you're in the lowest point right now, you are like trying to get out of the lowest point, or you're kind of like in the middle of like, yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still not great, and you're kind of in the middle. You need to constantly remember either this moment or that memory. And you need that to constantly reignite the flame every single time going, I never want to go back there again. And the thing is, a lot of people will look at that and be like, oh, that's toxic because like you're older now and that won't happen, but it can. You've shown yourself you have that capability. So you need to reverse that direction as much as possible. You need a moment in your life that was your worst, that you can constantly call back on in order to shape this new reality. And the thing is, you need to change from that in many ways as possible. So one of them is a new you. You're creating this new identity, this new person. And one of the simplest and easiest ways to do that is by changing your what? Appearance. You can't get in shape instantly. You can't magically just look good in clothes. You can't magically have a nice beard or a nice haircut unless you get like a haircut or whatever. But most guys who are looking at this probably don't have a beard or nice hair or nice facial structure or whatever, because you're probably not in great shape. You're probably not the healthiest. That stuff is all like long term. So how do you change your physical appearance? Accessories. I have put a cheap hat that you can wear, a cheap watch, a cheap chain, things that are inexpensive, that look relatively nice. The Casio, or the watch I think is a Casio. The watch is nice, the chain is nice, the hat is like whatever. You can look for different hats, whatever. These are just ideas. You can wear bracelets. I think they're a little gay. You can wear rings. I think they're super gay. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel confident in, whatever is going to change your perspective of yourself just a little bit, do that. If you want to get grills to where you have like golden teeth, by all means, go ahead. Change your identity, change your physical appearance, get a tattoo if you want to. If you've been thinking about getting a tattoo, get like a cool one. Don't make it dorky. Be like, yo, I'm swaggy, I'm awesome. It doesn't matter. You need to be able to look at yourself in a different way and do that in as many ways as possible. And this is one of them. Create a new you. Your action step is to make a physical change from your old worst self, whether it's cutting your hair, whether it's trimming your beard, whether it's going buzzed, whether it's shaving your armpits. I don't care. Change in some way. to where you can look at yourself in the mirror and notice it every single day and go, I am serious. If you want my genuine, honest advice, buzz your hair. I've done this on so many occasions. I constantly do it. Now is the first period in months where I've actually had a head of hair, and I'm about to get a haircut in 2 days. And I'm actually going to make it like look nice and neat and trim. So I probably should have waited so like I didn't look all scraggly for these recordings. But this is very important. You need to look at yourself in a different light. When people go into the military, why do you think they shave their head? Being for functionality? No. It's because you're looked at in a different light. You're in a completely new environment. There's completely different rules, completely different authorities, and you look like a completely different person. And when all of those things mix together, you become a different person. That's why the USA, for example, has such a successful military, is because we understand the psychological system. That's everything for this module. Make your post right now. Don't procrastinate this. A lot of people go like, oh, I don't want to buzz my head. Oh, I don't want to get the watch. Oh, I'll get the watch tomorrow. Do it right now. That's been everything. Go to the next module right now. Make your post. Do the action now. All right, so this is module number 4, setting up your habits. This is so extremely important. If I could make you one module for this entire protocol, it would be this one. So pay attention, take notes if you have to, watch it 3, 4, 5, 6 times, constantly refer back to it. I'm going to put little like timestamps in the description of it, whatever. This is extremely important, so pay attention to this. There was this community on school.com, which is a platform that we're on right now, that was called Habit Masters. And essentially, it was this guy named Louis Humble. You can find him on Instagram. I've talked about him previously, like within this protocol. And he had this like habit blueprint of destroying bad habits, creating new ones, being productive, being consistent, all these different types of things. Absolutely changed my life. And essentially what it was is exactly what I am giving you now. It brought me from like a very, not the most depressed period I've been, but a very depressive period where I wasn't really trying hard. I kind of lost my fire, to literally like smiling all the time and being happy and socializing with people. That's a period where I always talk about. I talk to 10 plus new people every single day for months at a time. That was in part, obviously I was the one who did it, but that was in part because of Louis and the systems that he had taught me. And I stole all of those, made them better. I understand them better as well because I've been through it and I can give you my own twist and experience with things. So this obviously isn't like a carbon one-on-one copy, but it is heavily inspired. So if Louis ever sees these, huge shout out to him because you genuinely did change my life, brother. I'm going to be giving you this, so I'm going to keep hyping this up, but this is very important. So pay attention. The lesson of that story I just told you is you need productive habits that you see positive return on. And in order to do that, you need to do them for a long period of time. I did Louis' protocol it was a 14-day protocol. I did that for months. So my action step is going to be for you is to go hard on what I'm about to tell you for at least 7 to 14 days minimum. And if you genuinely see no results and you want to give up, go ahead. But by that point, you will already be making meaningful, noticeable progress within your life throughout like this dopamine. People call it like a dopamine detox. I just call it living like a human. You need to be doing this for a while. Towards the end, I'm going to go into more detail about like you're actually probably going to feel depressed before like the 7-day period starts. It's a little bit weird. That might sound a little bit scary. Just bear with me and listen to what I have to say. First thing, the power of a morning routine. You hear online all the time, there's all these memes of Ashton Hall with like the banana peel on his face and like rubbing water and sprinting and running and all this type of stuff. Wake up at 3 a.m., start actually like your day and working and all those things. 7 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever. Go to bed at 4 a.m., whatever. You wake up at 3, wake up at 4. Perfect. The entire point of a morning routine, it's meant to be fast. It's not meant to, if your morning routine takes more than like 30 minutes, and that's really long, I would say like 15 minutes is probably perfect, then it's too long. The point of it is to force yourself into a rhythm and start the day off with positive, tiny wins. So morning habits, these are the only ones that matter. Anyone else who tells you do other habits is wrong. These are the only ones that matter. Cold exposure, and you might be thinking, what, cold water? I used to be against this for a long time. I did cold showers for, I think, like 1-2 years straight. And then I stopped for another 1 or 2 years. And then recently, like a month ago, I started doing them again. And the only reason is it's because you are training your willpower ability. First thing, when you're not going to remember it for the rest of the day, you're not going to be cold for any longer than like 15, 20 minutes, whatever. The point is to train your willpower ability, because there will never, ever be a single day in your life to where you're excited to go into the cold water. Never one day. You will never sit there and think, oh man, I can't wait for my cold shower. You're going to wake up to your alarm, or when you wake up, if you don't use an alarm, you're going to wake up to your alarm and you're going to go, fuck, I have to do a cold shower. I'm coughing as well, so this is fantastic. Never once. It is to train that ability, and you're never going to understand it until you understand it. But I'm telling you, it's very important. If you want to be a strong, masculine, hardworking guy, it's not about the fact that you're in cold water going, it's the skill of doing something you really, really, with every fiber of your being, don't want to do. That's physically uncomfortable, that's mentally uncomfortable, and that requires you to step into it. When you're sat there looking at the shower for 10 minutes in a row, when I told you your morning routine shouldn't last more than like 30 minutes maximum, that's pushing it. It can last longer than 30 minutes if you're dedicated enough to going in that water, but you haven't like had the spark to actually go in. You haven't been able to force yourself yet to just step forward. I'm telling you, never once in your entire life you will want to do this. And it is absolutely key that you do, for that exact reason. A lot of people be like, oh, you're too extreme. Shut the fuck up. I am extreme, and I'm making better results than absolutely everybody because I'm doing the simple stuff. You don't need to sit in there with a timer for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Literally dunk your head in, do a quick twirl around, get like your armpits in there so you hit your whole body, then you're done. The whole point is to spark the action, and it's about the speed at which you do it. It's about doing it quickly. It's about sitting there looking and going, fuck, and then walking in, zero fear, completely unfazed, and going, shit, that sucked, but whatever, it got done. Checklist complete. And now on to a happier note, you should be praying every single morning. If you know me, you know that I am highly, I wouldn't say religious, because I maybe could be doing better. I don't read my Bible maybe as much as I should. I don't believe that past a certain point, I think a lot of people worship the knowledge of the Bible versus the actual teachings. And what I mean by that, if you were to look at Christianity, for example, because I'm a Christian, I can only speak on that. If you were to look at Christianity and just look at the Sermon on the Mount, you would be 95% of the way there. A lot of people get addicted to the craft of it, the knowledge of it, the apologetics, arguments, the debates, all that type of stuff. And I got myself into that space for a while. And maybe I'm coping, maybe I'm completely wrong. But I think that is more negative than it is positive, in the sense that I'm not trying to get closer to God. I'm trying to be right over other people. Because at the end of the day, that's what I believe, and I'm going to believe in that for the rest of my life. It doesn't matter if I convince other people. I'm not the one doing the convincing. It's me showing who I am, being a symbol of, like, not like a symbol of the religion, but you know what I mean? Somebody who represents a religion, which is every single Christian on planet Earth. We all represent it in some way. It's me as a representative showing, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is the way you can live and the life you can live if you decide to give your life to Jesus Christ. That is my perspective. And I don't think that these habits of like getting into apologetics like I did before, and like becoming a pastor or a priest or whatever, honestly, if I'm like to be real with you, I think Catholicism, and this is like hugely controversial, and I'm going to be very like vague with how I say this because I don't know for sure, but Catholicism to me seems highly unbiblical. I've done quite a bit of research on it. It seems like a bit of a scam. I could be wrong. If you're a Catholic, prove me wrong, make a post about it. I think I'm going to upload this onto YouTube, so make a comment about it. Tell me I'm wrong. I'll gladly convert to Catholicism or whatever, or I'll fall more into that denomination. I'm non-denominational. I think we follow Jesus, not a specific denomination, but again, I'm weird for that apparently. Pray every single morning. A lot of people here will put meditation, and I'm actually going to go over here. I'll go over why that here. I'll go into it because I'm already segueing in. A lot of people will be like, why is it meditation on here? Everybody says meditation. Meditation is I want to say Eastern religious practice. It's derived from Buddhism and it's derived from Hinduism. It's the art of clearing your mind, making your mind clear. There's a difference between clearing your mind and focusing on your breath versus focusing on thoughts. I've meditated for over 100 hours, maybe hundreds of hours. And I believe that that was actually sinful under the Christian light, is that depending on the way that you do it, it is negative. Mindfulness meditation is good. I meditate basically every single day. How I go about it is mindful thinking. So I will let myself have whatever thoughts it is that I want, but I'll try and focus on them, and I'll try and only think about them, and I'll let them kind of get out. For me, that is so restful and so relaxing. And by the end of 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, I feel like I just slept like 3 hours. It feels absolutely beautiful. It feels fantastic. And for some people, I could say then you're like, oh, 3 hours. You feel kind of shit after you sleep only 3 hours. It's an example. Don't take it as like completely literal. But I'm telling you, doing prayer and doing this type of meditation to where you're focused more in, and as a matter of fact, we'll add it. Doing this is actually amazing. And I would say that regular, like, I want to say Eastern. I could be wrong. Is it? It's Eastern. It has to be Eastern. These Eastern, like, religious practices, and again, if I'm wrong, my bad. They're sinful under the Christian light. And a lot of people will be like, oh, God's sin. No, you're wrong. It is sin. God said no. One of the commandments is, do not worship other gods. God said no, therefore I will not. That is a mindset that you need to have towards that. So prayer. Another one is gratitude. A lot of people, when Hamza got popular, for example, a lot of people only got focused on like the journaling aspect. And that's cool. I personally do not do gratitude journaling anymore. And the reason is because I much rather prefer, and obviously you can be like, well, why don't you do both? Shut the fuck up. Yes, you can do both, but when it's kind of like, for example, if you have two types of cardio, and one of them's running, which you absolutely hate, and it makes your heart healthier, and you have a sport, like for me, it'd be boxing or wrestling or volleyball or something like that, and it does the same shit, obviously you're going to pick the sport every single time. I would rather do the one that's better for me, that I enjoy more. And doing gratitude texts, doing posts like in the community or making comments, phone calls, in-person conversation where you just say, you know what, man, I'm extremely grateful for you. And you're going to have to start with journaling because you have to level up. You have to go through the process. You go through journaling, and then you make public posts, and then you text people, and then you give them calls, and then in person you say it. And obviously those can modulate back and forth. But what I'm saying is that try all of them, do all of them. I've journaled hundreds of pages of gratitude. I'm allowed to say I don't do it anymore because I'm past that level. Now I text people, and I make posts, and I make phone calls, and I DM, and I'm in person saying I'm grateful for you because of X, Y, and Z. I'm grateful for our friendship. Whatever. It's important to be able to express gratitude. The two biggest mental health habits you can have is prayer and gratitude. And people say like mindfulness meditation. We just went over why that's like not optimal for at least me as somebody who believes Christ is the way, the truth, the life. That's not how I roll. So I say prayer over meditation, and they have this literally the exact same psychological effect. So just pick one. If you believe in like Hinduism or Buddhism, do that. I personally disagree, but do whatever you want. I don't really care that much. Prayer and gratitude are the two most important things. I did a course called The Science of Well-Being, and it was by Yale University. I went through that course, and it's absolutely insane what meditation, and here, let me give you a different example, actually, because I feel like everybody gives that example because it got really popular during COVID. I was actually one of the few people who actually like went through the course, and 99% of people who reference it didn't. I had a yoga instructor come to my school for one of the psychology classes that I'm in. And we all meditated, and we all stretched, and it was super fun. And we talked about like goat yoga for a little bit, which was kind of weird. And we did handstands. I did handstands with the girl and like the old like instructor lady and all that type of stuff. Every single person afterwards, because I meditate in the context that we're talking about it all of the time still. And I went through that, and she was like, focus on like your feet and your legs. And to me, that's not like sinful. When we would do that, everybody afterwards was like, oh my God, I feel so great. And I'm like, yeah. And the thing is, they all knew that I meditated. They all knew that I would talk about these habits because I bring it up every once in a while, and you don't need to be like obnoxious about it, but you talk about it with people and you speak to them and you're like, oh, yeah, no shit. It's good for you. The thing is with this, it has good instant effects, but it has good long-term effects as well. Because how I like to think about meditation, and maybe not so much gratitude, but meditation specifically, it kind of reverses the effects of like scrolling. So it increases your attention span and makes your brain like more focused. It allows you to kind of like not have TikTok brain, basically. Gratitude allows you to improve your relationships, because if you're grateful for someone, you're allowed to be able to connect with them so much more deeply. Imagine how much better your relationship would be, like with your mother, for example, or your best friend or whatever, if you were able to say, I'm actually grateful for you, instead of just like, funny 6767, making like retarded jokes, making like sex jokes to each other or whatever. Like you guys are both guys and you're like, oh, I'd fuck you. There's some like Muslim dude who's like, I was gonna do the accent, but I'd get fucking canceled instantly. There's gonna be some Muslim dude who's like, oh no, I would never, but whatever. Imagine how much better your relationship would be if you could just say, I'm grateful for you. Another side point that I just thought of is that gratitude and stress come from the same part of the brain. That part of the brain can only activate one thing at the time. If hypothetically you're in a constantly grateful mood, it would be impossible for you to be stressed. Or it's actually anxious. It's the emotion I'm thinking of, or the feeling. It would be impossible for you to be anxious. Think about that. Imagine that you were the type of person who could get into like horrific shit, like a car hit you, like you broke your arm, and you could laugh there, like genuinely laugh. This is the type of person I am. You'd be able to laugh and go, well, at least it wasn't my dick. Think about how like weird that is. Think about how crazy that is, that you can be that type of person. So I really want you to take these two seriously. So setting aside a time to journal, to meditate, to pray, whatever. Again, I would make these into separate habits: prayer, talking to God, versus mindful thinking, which can like be intertwined with talking to God, but that's not necessarily like the purpose. It's more so to like refresh and rewind and be present with yourself. Next thing, morning habit, deep work. This is called eating the frog online. I hate this analogy personally. I've used it a couple times in videos. I personally don't like it. I think it's weird. Essentially, your brain works the best when you first wake up, when you have nothing distracting you, when you've had all the positive momentum of the morning routine, when you're creating positive momentum by working first thing in the morning. You have a good 1 to 4 hours in the morning where you're most productive. That's science. That's humans. That's how it works. Don't say, I actually work better at night. Shut the fuck up. No, you do not. You work best in the morning, like every other person. Doing your deep work first thing in the morning is the thing that's going to allow you to be successful in your studies, in your work, in your business, in your fitness. Fitness, personally, I'm not necessarily there, just because like I'm more mentally sharp. My body kind of hasn't warmed up, and it's kind of just like weird for me. So maybe I am coping. Maybe I'm one of the people who need to shut up. But for me, fitness isn't necessarily a thing I like doing in the morning. I've done it before. I've went through periods where I'm up at 5 a.m. working out. The workouts just aren't as good, to be quite honest. I prefer working out in the morning, but after I've eaten and after I've worked for a little bit and I've kind of like woken up and I've gotten my caffeine in and my carbs and all that type of stuff. That's how I am. You could be different, but setting aside basically the hardest, this is where the analogy comes in of eat the frog. Like if you were to have a meal and you had to eat a frog, but afterwards or with the meal, it was like steak and rice and like delicious, like your favorite food ever. The idea is you would eat the frog first. You would get it out of the way. The first few bites of the meat or the steak or whatever would be a little bit weird, but the rest of it would be absolutely delicious, instead of you eating the frog at the end. So you have the taste in your mouth the rest of the day because like you haven't brushed your teeth or you don't have a toothbrush. It's a weird analogy, but that's how it works. Versus that, essentially the idea is do the hardest thing first thing in the day. And for me, it's probably deep work, but for you, it could be fitness. And I would say if you're a young guy, especially if you're in good shape, doing 1-2 workouts every single day, weightlifting 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week. Yeah, 7. A lot of people are like, oh, that's not optimal. Shut the fuck up. you'll take rest days naturally as you need them, as you learn when you need rest days, as you get weaker, as you get more fatigued, you'll learn. You're not even strong enough to fatigue yourself as a beginner, so shut the fuck up. Doing boxing training, doing fight training, doing cardio, whatever. We're going to go more into that later. But for now, these are morning habits. You may have to wake up earlier for this, in which case just set your alarm, set a time to wake up an hour earlier, and then go to bed 30 to 60 minutes sooner than normal. Do this up until you wake up at a reasonable time. Scientifically, if you want to go for like the optimal circadian rhythm clock, like timing, it's 15 minutes every single day. For me, this is too slow. Just be tired an extra day or two. You'll be completely fine. You'll live. Be a little bit disciplined. It's not too hard. Again, there's a different module within this protocol. I think it's like module 7, 8. I'm not going to say 6 before 7 because the fucking 6, 7 kids will come in and all that bullshit. But I say 30 to 60 minutes. You can do shorter if you want. You can do 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. Again, at the end of the day, it's whatever you're going to stick with. Personally, I think everybody can do this, but some people might not be at that level yet. So absolutely no problem. We're all improving. So this is my recommendation. Scientifically, it's 15 minutes. If you need to do less, do less. If you need to wake up, like let's say you need an hour to do this full morning routine. If you only do half of it for 30 minutes, that's completely fine. Bad habits. We also need habits to replace bad habits. The reason why I'm not saying like stop them, never do them again, is because you don't stop bad habits, you replace them. It's not a case of never do these things again, because no single human on planet Earth is going to stare at the ceiling bored the entire day when they could be gooning or playing video games or whatever. These are habits you can use in place of scrolling, junk food, porn, video games. You know what bad habits are. It's instant gratification activities that spike your dopamine, that make you more unhappy on a long term, that are fun, interesting right now, that don't lead to anything productive. This is an extreme view. People will be like, oh, it's extreme, whatever. Shut the fuck up. No, it's not. You're wrong. I'm right. The entire world is wrong. I am right. Some things you can do is reading, more deep work, doing shallow work, or instead of like doing the most important task for the day, let's say for me, it's recording the protocol and recording videos and all that type of stuff. Shallow work would be like me responding to messages, and it would be me maybe making like copy and pasting a post from my Notion and posting it to YouTube. It could be weightlifting. It could be cardio. I personally prefer either playing a sport or exploring. Cardio to me is the most boring thing on the planet, whether it's HIIT, whether it's like long, like distance running, whatever. It's boring. I hate it. I don't like it. I do exploration cardio where I'll go on my bike and I'll go all around like my city, and I'll just go from place to place, and I'll stop by places, and sometimes I'll maybe go to like a shop or something because I'm able to do that now. Got like, your boy got a little bit of money from this online business stuff. Cardio, sport, whatever. I play volleyball. I'm really fucking good at volleyball. I've always been really good at volleyball. Again, played at nationals. I had one of the best serves in the country. That's a fact. Really good. Suck balls. Using school, Substack, or Twitter. The reason why I say school, Substack, and Twitter, because I post on school and Substack, and the actual reason, the reason that's actually going to help you, and that isn't selfish for me, and that makes kind of like my business better, because that's where my newsletter and obviously this community is on Twitter. It's mostly reading. It's free speech, so you get to be around real people. Again, there's a lot of like extreme views on Twitter, and it's kind of like a gross place to be, and it's going to like mess with you mentally. And if you're the type of person like get angry and reply to people, then don't be on Twitter because you're a twat. But reading, looking at what's happening in the world, I think is the most important thing. And I just realized that it's called X now and not Twitter. So go on x.com instead. I personally don't use it. This is just when I was making this presentation, I figured it would be a good idea for you to do maybe, or just like as an idea for me in the future. Educational content consumption. This is, for example, you can have two types of videos. You can have videos like mine where I teach you something, and protocols like this where I teach you something and there's action for you to take, and there's an actual noticeable improvement that will come to your life. And then you have Mr. Beast videos where it's like, I trapped 100 pedophiles in a circle with 1,000 kids. First not to get raped wins $69,000. If that is the case for you, where you're watching entertainment-based content like Mr. Beast, cut that out. Educational content is key. Reading is peak of educational content, along with courses. My ear's itching like crazy. Reading and courses are the two best ways to consume content because the entire goal is just to educate you, especially if it's a paid course. I paid hundreds of dollars in courses and lectures and all those different types of things. I've made some because I know the value in it. I'm the type of person who has like ethics and things to stand by. I will never sell something that I didn't personally believe in. Educational content consumption is huge. Just you need to not kind of like do it in a glorified way to where you're watching 3, 4, 5 hours of content a day. An hour a day, yeah, that's fine. I personally am on like, unless I'm watching a podcast, like no more than like 10, 15, 20 minutes. I'm not on the internet at all anymore recently. Like I'm literally I'm an educational content creator, and I'm not on the internet at all, other than to go on school, to go on my newsletter, and to make stuff like this, which is on school. Socializing, going out, hanging out with people, saying, I'm going to go to the park and I'm going to say hi to 5 people while walking. Cool. That's hugely productive. That'll take you maybe an hour if you screw around, whatever. That's an hour gone. Journaling, writing down things, writing down thoughts you've had, ideas you've had. I've never been somebody who's gotten into journaling like as a habit. All of these things for me are more like intuitive. So I have something called a timetable. So I write down like what I do every single day. And I'll have from 5 a.m. all the way up to 10 p.m. when I go to sleep. I didn't live like that for a while, and I still kind of don't. Even with my timetable, it's like a guide for the day. It's not necessarily, this is what I do, I'm going to do this, I'm required to do this, whatever. If I find something better to do, if I want to go over, let's say, here I get off of recording and like quote unquote work at 8:45. If I felt like getting off at 8:30, if I felt like getting off at 9:30, 10, 11, 12, I'm allowed to do that. I'm not confined to that schedule. Journaling for me is one of those things that you only do when you need it. When you are held with a hard decision, when you're held with a very like profound insight that you want to have written down on paper, 1, so you remember it, and 2, so you remember it better, so it sticks in your brain harder, that is when you journal. Sleeping, taking naps are fucking productive because it's rest. So many people be tired, and instead of just going to bed and lying down, they'll be scrolling on their phone, or they'll be in bed going, I'm going to go to sleep, and then scroll on their phone for 18 hours. Just sleep. Take a nap. Let's see if I can think of more. Going out with girls, hanging out with girls, cold approaching, getting practice at going up, complimenting people, getting numbers, whatever. You need to be attractive for this to work, and you need to be maybe relatively tall. I'm short and I'm able to do this, so maybe I'm just suave as fuck. Who knows? I said more business work. Getting on calls, free calls with people that buy your product, seeing what they like about it, what they don't like about it. Calling a friend and talking about life, masculinity, what's going on in the world, self-improvement. You can do that within this community. Literally just say, hey bros, looking for someone's WhatsApp. Can you help me? Bada bing, bada boom. Nice. What else? That's kind of it. There's more that you can do, I'm sure. Learning a language, playing chess, those are 2 that I do. Well, I say I'm learning Russian. I haven't fucking opened Duolingo or talked to my Russian speaking friends in forever, so I'm learning Russian. That's kind of it. But never, ever in your life say, because of your infinite options, I have nothing productive to do. You always do, including rest. Sitting around doing absolutely nothing is productive if it is needed. Going out in the sun, hanging out, reading a book, eating food, doing all those things, those are productive. That is productive. Not playing video games, scrolling on your phone, gooning, whatever. That's never, ever, ever going to be your best option. How to actually go about this? How do you actually track these things? How do you make sure you're doing what you're supposed to, all these things? The action step that I'm going to be giving you is to create a habit tracker. You can do a digital one where it's kind of like this. Is my Notion document that I used for a while. It's blank because I haven't used it in forever. Or you can make it on paper. I have this right here, my current habit tracker. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. It can literally just be lines, habits, and then whatever. Fill these with the habits I mentioned before. So for me, I have reading, waking up at 5 a.m., cold exposure, praying, going to the gym, recording stuff for YouTube, doing schoolwork, and then working on my timetable. How do you actually go about this? Defining consistency. Here, let me actually do this because I thought I had more in. A lot of people look at being consistent as like a streak. It's a did I do X thing 30 days in a row? It's not that. Consistency isn't binary or not. It's not did or didn't. It's how well or how often you did something. It's a percentage and not a yes or no clicker. Like you know those, this is going to be a weird example. You know those light switches that go up and down and like the top one turns the light off and the bottom one turns the light on? That's not consistency. It's not the light is always on. It's when it goes off, do you press it again? When it turns off, do you press it again? It's clicking on and off day by day. It's not on or off permanently. It's thinking about it, and I can even write this out, I think. It's thinking about it is if you had this habit tracker where you had like, for me, it'd be 5 a.m. and then it'd be like work. Here, we'll do deep work. The W stands for work, and I just realized that I'm not able to do that. W stands for work, and then like gym, G. If I'm making this and I check these off, I'm like, oh, I'm so consistent. I've been consistent 2 days in a row. And then I miss this day. I'm not inconsistent with doing work. I just missed a day. Then I come back and oh, boom, I'm chill. Maybe I miss another day. Maybe I miss another day. Maybe I miss another day. Now, because if we look at the percentage, I'm probably more inconsistent than I am consistent. But defining consistency isn't yes or no. It's how consistent am I? I would say I'm not very consistent with working because I missed 3 days in a row here. I only successfully did, 3 days out of 7 days? Yeah, I'm probably not very consistent. But my consistency rating is 30 to 40%, if we're going by the math of it. If you started at 20, then you improved. You're more consistent. Now, when you make it go to 50%, let's say you do this for 30 days and you do the habit 15 days out of the 30 days, you're 50% consistent. That's 10 or 20% more than you were before. Then next month, it might be 70 because you kind of get like a little boost because you're motivated. Cool, you're at 70. Maybe next month you're at 65. Damn it, you went down a month. That kind of sucks. Now, you can't see this, can you? 70. Now, you're at 80. You had a good month. Then you kind of coast around 80. We'll move this over here. You kind of coast at 80 for a few months. You switch between like, I don't know what this is. Switch between 80, like 90%. You're actually doing really well. Here you can kind of sit. If you really want to go for it and you want to talk about like 100% consistency, then you can do that. And there's no negative to doing that, obviously. But what a lot of people will look at, they'll look at consistency and think it has to be this 100. This is consistency. 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 This. 10%. This. These are all consistency. They're just different degrees. And you have to look at it in this way. You can't say, oh, I'm not at 100, so I'm inconsistent. No. That's not how that works. You're at 90, you're at 80. You're not 100% consistent. You're not fully consistent. But I guess you would be, because if you did something 80% of the time for your entire life, would you not be very consistent at that thing if we're really to boil it down? Even if you did it 50% of your days for the rest of your life, if you lived, what's a good number? 10 years. Let's say you live, I don't know, let's say you live 15,000 days. It's like roughly 50 years-ish, I think. I could be completely wrong on that math. It's rounded down, so it's rounded down to 300, so calm down. If you were to do something for, if you were to be alive for 15,000 days and you did it for, here, let's give an easier number. If you're alive for 10,000 days, let's say you die early, and 5,000 of them, you did something for like 1-2 hours a day, you would be at the 10,000 hour mark. If you did 2 hours a day, 50% of your days, you would be at the 10,000 hour mark where people say that you're an expert in something. And you're only halfway there. You're only doing it half of the time. Think about how insane that is. That's actually crazy. Like to think about that you're an expert in something that you do half of your days. And that can be not doing it for a month, doing it for a month, not doing it for a month, doing it for a month. That could be skipping a whole year and then another 2 years, you're 50-50. And then maybe like you do some extra. So you do 3-4 hour days because you're super driven towards it. Consistency isn't binary. And what I mean by that is it's not a 1 or 0. It's a 1 through 100. The further this way you go, the better you will be. I'm going to move this over here. The further this way you go, the better you will be. Further this way you go, the worse you will be. This is bad. This is good. If you're constantly going in this direction, that is good. If you're constantly going in this direction, that's probably bad. Next module. I kind of cooked for that. I'm proud of myself for this one. Another way you can do this is accountability posts. So we went over like the habit trackers. This is a secondary way you can do it. You can literally just take a picture of like this piece of paper here, or like take a screenshot of this and just make a post. Kevin, for example, he posts the journal date and then like the day of the week. You don't have to put the day of the week, obviously, because the date is right there. But he'll say he did his morning routine and he did his weight and cold shower and journal and read and 20 minutes outdoors and deep work, not procrastinating and eating healthy and mostly whole foods. He hit his calorie goal of less than 2,000 calories, his protein goal. He drank 2 liters of water. He worked out. He did not, and this is where we get into it. And I'm going to move my camera again just so you can see. He did not turn his screens off by, what's that? 9:30, I think, right? No, that'd be, yeah, that's 9:30. By 9:30? Oh, it says it, I'm dumb. He was not in bed by 10 p.m., but he did do his evening routine. This is where other people, after a few days of missing this habit, people will say, hey, you keep missing being in bed by X time. They will hold you accountable. They'll make fun of you. They'll bully you a little bit. They'll make you feel bad and feel worse. You either stop posting, which people will notice, or you actually do the habit, or you lie. So your two options are bad. One option is good. One of them is you did the thing that you set out to do that's going to make your life better in the long run because you know it's going to make it better, and you have it written down on purpose for a reason, or you're a liar, or you're a coward. And you don't want to be either of those things. So you have to do it. Writing accountability posts saying that, hey, these are all my things. And this is a copy and pasted prompt, by the way. He's not like actively writing out these emojis. It's literally copy and pasted. And then he'll put the emojis after each thing at the end of the day. And then he'll submit it. And then it is how it is. I guarantee you he doesn't write out this whole thing. It's literally copy and pasted. He has it in his notes somewhere. Pastes, adds the X's or the checks to signify whether or not he did it, and then that's it. In summary, Habit Masters changed my life. Doing this protocol will change yours. Morning routines are dope and important. Replace bad habits. You don't break them. Be productive 100% of the time. Make a habit tracker, and then boom, you win. Quick warning. You will most likely feel some element, and this is going to sound kind of strange, some weird element of depression or like weird like mental health stuff for like the first 3 to 6 days. It's completely normal. When you go through very dramatic changes like this, it takes like an adaptation period. If you think about weightlifting, for example, you get sore before you get stronger. You do bicep curls, for example, and you're doing curls and you're using like the 15s and you're like, yeah. The next day you're sore. The day after you're sore. The day after that you're sore. The day after that you might still be sore, depending on how much volume and intensity and how experienced you are and what your diet's like. Whatever. But then when you're not sore anymore, when you get back, when you do the curls again, the 15s actually feel really light. They're on the 20s. And you did the 20s and you're like, whoa, I've never been able to do that before. And you're like, the next day you're like, shit, I'm sore. And then the day after that, the day after that, day after that. And then you're stronger. Then you're like, let me grab the 25s, and you grab the 25s, and you're like, whoa, this feels like the 15s did that one time. I know it's more pressure. I know that it's more, but it doesn't feel like more. I'm still able to do the same amount of reps. And you're like, dope. Sore, plateau, deload, sore. Few weeks, grab the 30s. You're like, there's no way I'm curling these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoa. I did the same amount of reps, but with double the weight. That's actually really cool. It's an adaptation process. You're going to be sore before you make the progress. Don't give up while you're sore. You need to push through it. And then I can almost guarantee you, you will love life even more. Even if you're still in a dark place, you'll be in a lighter place than you are. Your body's correcting itself during this process, which it doesn't like doing. So it makes you not want to do the process by depressing you. Beat your biology. That's been everything for this mini presentation. This is the most important module inside of this protocol, and I'm so glad that I've been able to make it for you. That's as long as it is. It's detailed as it is. I'm going to add timestamps for you. I'm going to add these modules in for you inside of the protocol. I'm very proud of this. So I really do hope this helps someone, because this would have helped me a ton when I was younger. Without further ado, take action. Make your habit tracker. Make your post. Keep doing the best of doing your best. Go on to the next module after you make your post right now. So this is the timetable. I actually want to tell a story about why I think this habit is so unbelievably useful, and also that it actually made me depressed for the longest time, which is why I didn't do it for years, and kind of how I got around it and how I think you will get around it if this is an issue. I used to think, and I used to believe, that when I would have a timetable, when I would have like a set out like plan for the day, which is something like this, and I'll go into this in a little bit, but it's basically just like 5:15 p.m. do this, 8:45 a.m. do this, whatever. Like, I'm not going to go too far into it because then I'll start blabbing. But I used to think that that was a bad thing, that it was a negative thing, that it would take away like the fun and the excitement from the day, and I would just like be a robot and a zombie. The thing is, that's not actually the case, because once you get good at working hard, you enjoy working hard, and that's all you ever want to do. And on the same token, you pre-program rest periods. I used to get depressed because I thought it took away my choice. The lesson of this is you need to realize this is what actually is best. And you're actually choosing to do this, so you need to ignore the little obnoxious voice in your head telling you, no, timetable's bad, don't do this, you don't want to make a timetable, that's horrible, no, don't do that. Shut up. This is actually what's best. We want to do this. This is good for us. Ignore the voice that tells you otherwise. They're wrong. That voice has convinced you to do bad habits for your entire life. That's convinced you to scroll and to watch random videos and to not be disciplined and not exercise and not do the like business work you want to do or the schoolwork that you want to do. It's told you to do that thousands, tens of thousands of times. Ignore it. Let your like big, like actually like motivated, driven voice take charge for once and tell you what to do. So this is exactly how you make a timetable. I'm going to show you how to do it on paper if you want to do it on paper, and then I'm going to show you how to do it on Notion, and I'm going to give you like a link to a document and all that type of stuff. So what you do is you can either make boxes, kind of like how the Notion doc has, or you can just write down, like, if we imagine this is a piece of paper that already has boxes, you can just write down like the time and the action, all this. I'm just going to show you boxes because that's easier within this example. So we're going to make this here. You have your piece of paper, or this is your piece of paper. Then you make grids. Have an attention span. This is part of your training, is that you need to listen while I'm drawing things. So perfect. Let's say you wake up at 6 a.m. for school. You wake up. This would be your get ready. Perfect. You already know what to do here. You already know what you do right when you wake up. So 6 a.m., get ready for school. You know that maybe you put on clothes, you would shower. This is like your activity section. So here would be the time, here would be the like action you're doing, and here would be like the notes that you need to write yourself. So shower, wash face. Here it's a little bit weird because we did this kind of in a strange order, and you're going to be maybe not necessarily taking action on this until you go through as a matter of fact, I'm going to shift up these modules. So you already know the habits that you're going to be doing. You know that you're going to be waking up a little bit earlier. So you're going to be doing 5 a.m. You're going to do your eat the frog habit. You're going to be doing, let's say, school. But I have nothing hard to work on. Learn a language. Go on Duolingo. Play chess. It doesn't matter. Do some type of deep work first thing in the morning. let's say 6 a.m. you have school or you have work. Then that's when you get ready. Here would be like schoolwork. So this is your deep work block for an hour, not too crazy. Here you would get ready for school. You put on clothes. Here, I'm just going to put clothes. Then you would have cologne. And then you would have bag, pack bag, whatever. It doesn't really matter. 7 a.m. or let's say 6:30. You're off to school. 6:30 a.m. school. And then you could put a note saying like, pay attention. Sure. Pay attention. You can't read this at all, but I'm saying it so it's going to be easier. You get home, let's say 3 p.m. You've been at 3 p.m. You can eat. You would get ready for workout. So this can be like a muscle. My drawings are fantastic. This is a muscle, right? This is like a bicep, a guy sticking his arm up. 4 p.m., maybe you like chill around, so eat and chill. Chill around, don't go around your phone, don't do anything, but just kind of like go around, say hi to your family, all that type of stuff. 4 p.m., you come back and you work out. 5 p.m., maybe let's say like 5:30 you get finished, because beginners need a little bit longer workouts in my opinion. Not necessarily for like muscle growth, just because like beginners need like that discipline, like being in the gym and it's fun and it's hard and all that type of stuff. Let's say you do weights and then at 5:30 you eat, have your post-workout meal, and then you would continue this by, let me just make this smaller. You would continue this, and it would be 6:30. Maybe you eat and chill and shower for an hour, so shower as well. Eat, chill, shower, whatever. These are PM. And then you can read. Reading for an hour isn't that crazy. 7:30. Getting a little bit tired, getting a little bit droopy. Maybe you do some shallow work. So you like study up on like on the projects that you did, or you maybe here is where you would study, or maybe here is where you would study and you read. You could switch these two. It doesn't really matter. And you would have like deep work. So more school. That's not how you spell school. More school. Sure. 8:30 rolls around. Same thing, yada, yada, yada. Fill in habits, fill in time, whatever. You can take breaks, you can chill. You can even set like a content consumption time to where you're allowing yourself to consume content, like videos like this protocol, whatever. So instead of reading here, you can do the protocol. You can do the protocol. Here, you can read because it's almost before bed. And then like 10 p.m. would be bedtime. Let me move this just so you can see it. 10 p.m. Why is this like that? Bed. Perfect. This is how you can do it on paper. How you can do it on not paper is like this. Mine's a little bit different than what I'm going to have you do. I have a goal just like in mind because I want to read 2 books in 1 week. That's going to be the first time I've ever done that, and I'm more than on track to do that. Reminders, use my habit tracker, track my calories. Meditation is a form of rest, and I do meditation in a very specific way of mindful thinking, not emptying mind, because that's like a Hindu Buddhist practice. I am a Christian. It is sinful to meditate like that. Time, activity, notes, exactly how we have here, just on paper. What I do is 5 a.m. morning routine. I know what I do for my morning routine, so like cold shower, it would be meditate. It would be coffee, still caffeinated. It is like 8 o'clock. This is my second cup. And then work. Do this week's videos. I recorded 3 videos this morning, so that's a week and a half for me because I record twice, or I post twice a week as of right now. Record something that needs to be made for you guys, not what I want to make. Record the lock-in protocol, and then I did the story, lesson, action framework that I'm using. I do my chores. Here would be like Garbage, it would be dishes, just like general house stuff, cleaning stuff. General house stuff, 8:45 p.m. So I have a 3.5 hour work block here. I'd like to make it 4 hours. So, and I'm almost certainly going to go over because I have another 45 minutes. I'm not even close to being done with the protocol. Get ready for the workout. So this is going to take me like an hour and 15, hour and a half, something like that. Get ready for my workout. Eat rice, eggs, and cheese with a banana. Nana is banana for me. Workout. I'm hitting biceps and legs. 9 sets of biceps, like 9 sets of legs as well. So that's going to be super fatiguing, but it'd be how it be. I'm only training once a day right now, so I'm able to handle that. 12 p.m., eat food, rice, chicken, other nanner. We have 2 bananas left. That's me reminding myself to eat the second one because carbs, protein, all that type of stuff. That's going to take me like 45 minutes-ish. I watch like podcasts and stuff while I eat. So usually long form videos, long form takes longer. I don't know how else to explain that. Read and chill. I'll be reading .com Secrets. That's one of the books that I want to finish here. You can't even see the times, can you? I'm going to move this up here. Perfect. Oops. Perfect. I'm about to sneeze as well. Thank you. Anyways. Where will we eat food? .com Secrets. Then 1 p.m. I would have schoolwork. Oh, so from 15 minutes here. I did that wrong, but it's fine. It's gonna be 12:30. Read for half an hour and then school. This is kind of like my rest period is read and chill. So half an hour of chilling. We do 3 p.m. I will have 1 p.m. I will do schoolwork for 2 hours. My teacher's name is Osborne. ASS stands for assignment. I find it funny. Valentine's ass, that's a woman, so it's even funnier. And then more ass if I have any other assignments that need to be done. 3 p.m., take a break for 2 hours. This is around the time I kind of crash. I'll eat, chill, meditate, check out school. So like my communities and all that. Consume long form content. I will go outside. I'll probably go biking around this time, something like that. Dinner with my family around 5. That's when my dad gets off work as well. Eat food. 5:30 p.m. So dinner should last like half an hour, whatever. Hang out with dad. We play Halo together. As of right now, we play games or whatever. And usually it's just to like conversate and give us something new because we're both like ADHD, autistic. We need like action as well. 5:30 p.m. hang out with dad. 8 p.m. that's when I will go. So I'll be like, okay, bedtime. Like gonna go read, meditate, all that type of stuff. I'll go meditate, read, I'll shower around the time like I eat food as well. And then 10 p.m. I go to sleep. You might be thinking like, oh, only 7 hours, but I've actually liked the schedule a lot more. I'm not able to sleep when I go to bed at this time. I'm able to sleep when I go to bed at this time. And if I check my handy dandy watch, which I forgot to do this morning, I will actually be able to tell you live how good my sleep is. I slept 5.5 hours with 72% sleep efficiency. That's horrible, but I feel fine, so suck my balls. Anyways, I look kind of dumb after that, but no great man slept a perfect sleep schedule. Anyways, that is everything. That's exactly how you make this. I'll write you like a full template and all that type of stuff. I'll screenshot this and put it inside of the module. That has been everything. My name has been Brandon. I don't know, I'm doing this like a YouTube outro, but that's everything for this module. Go to the next ones right now. This was module 4, but I'm going to replace this module with the habits that you need to be doing. Anyways, cheers. A lot of people will look at influencers and they'll think, that guy's perfect. That guy's perfect. He isn't struggling with what I'm struggling with. He was, but now he's not. The thing is, it's not if you are struggling or not. It's a continuum of how much you're struggling with each habit. This very morning, literally within the past like 30, 40 minutes, this happened. I wake up, my alarm goes off. It is 5 a.m., just like any other regular morning. 5 a.m., I'm staring at my ceiling. I'm in bed. It's cold. I'm in my sheets, like all warm. My mom just gave me like a new Christmas blanket because like it's Christmas time and women are fun or whatever. And I'm not getting up. My alarms went off for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then it stops. My alarm stops. After 5 minutes, it snoozes completely and it doesn't go on again. I've missed my alarm. And I go, I've gotten a lot of the protocol done. I have the next like week and a half of videos scheduled. I don't need to get up today. And then the thought came in of all of the people that are one day going to be relying on me, that kind of are relying on me, like 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 people. If we're going by YouTube, 100, 200, 300, all of these people are relying on me and my success. And the people who need me, who don't know me yet, are all relying on me. And then I go, shit. I need to get up. I get up. It took me about like another minute, but I like roll over slowly. I wrestled. So like I did this weird like flip around and like push my arm through, and like without pushing myself up, I like and got up. I get up, go outside immediately. I get clothes. I make my coffee. I did a regular like hard brew. So this is like an espresso cup, and I also put instant coffee inside of it, and the caffeine rush is absolutely amazing. Also, I have a Judge Judy mug for any of the people who are American and know what that show is. It might be translated now. It's a very big show. Went, cold showered, got ready to record everything for the protocol. This is the first module that I'm recording back. You see that I have a different shirt. And now I'm here. Normally I get my morning started in 10, 15 minutes. Today it took me half an hour because I'm just so groggy and so tired, and I didn't want to. But I knew, and I do know, and everybody knows to some degree, that I'm in control of my own mind. And the thing is, it's not whether or not if you are control. It's not if you are in control. It's how control you are. How much control do you have? Are you able to sit for 50 years and do the same thing every single day, regardless if you like it, regardless if you don't? Something that let's push it to the extreme. Can you, for your entire life, do something you hate with every fiber of your being and still smile throughout it? Are you able to do that? No, of course not. So there is room to improve. If you are not good enough, that just means that you have more newbie gains, which essentially just means that you make progress faster in the beginning. If you suck at something, you're going to make a boom in gains, and it's going to give you a giant return on investment. The time you put in, you're going to get 10 times what you actually put in with what you get out of it. That is how these things work. So mindset, you are in control of your mind. That's been everything. Go to the next module right now. All right, so by this point, you should have made at least 5 posts, and you should have done at least 5 actions or taken 5 actions. You've done instant action, which is you've started this protocol right now, today. You started it instantly, which means you made instant momentum. You changed up your environment. You cleaned your room. You cleaned your desk. You cleaned your house, whatever it was. You had a new you. You've changed something physically about yourself, whether it's the clothes you wear, the things that are around your wrists, like watches and such. You have changed your haircut, whatever. You've went through the ultimate guide to habits. You made your habit tracker. You've done all the action steps there. You've made your timetable. And you've done all of those things. You made posts. You have social proof. You should be proud as fuck. You should be so happy that you've taken action on this, because like we mentioned in the very first module, instant action gives you instant momentum. And even if it wasn't instantaneous action, even if this took you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, whatever, because you procrastinated a little bit, or maybe like you're going through like some weird like family situation, whatever, which probably isn't the case. You most likely just procrastinated, but whatever. I want you to tell everybody in the community what you just did. I want you to share your 5 wins with everybody inside of the group and say 5 wins, woohoo, whatever. Everybody will flood in with support. I'll pin your post if there aren't already like a bunch of ones pinned. It'll get pinned at some point, most likely. I'll pin your post. It's a win for you. Share it with the community. Motivate other people to do the same. I really have nothing to say other than you should be really proud of yourself and really happy that you're taking these first steps to go this direction. Because to be quite honest, most people, you're about 78% done with the course. I'm looking at the exact percentage right now. You're about 78% done with it. 99.99% of people wouldn't even go through like the first couple of modules. They would join the group, maybe look at like the community for a bit, look through the classroom, kind of poke through it, take action on absolutely nothing. And then it is what it is. So I'm very, very, very proud to have you in this community, in this brotherhood, in this group, and as one of the people who I got to help. So praise be to God. You got this, bro. All right, so if you've went through this, you should have done instant action, new environment, new you, the ultimate guide to habits, set up your timetable, had the mindset of you being in control of your own mind, and you maybe should have shared your 5 wins. If you haven't already, either do it in the comment section of this video or go to the lock-in protocol where you can do that for completely free. Say you came from the video, it doesn't really matter. My final words to you are, always try to improve. There is not a single person on planet Earth who can give every single person the perfect advice that is needed in order to improve their life 100%. I was going to say within a couple hour period like this protocol is, but saying it out loud, there isn't a single person short of Jesus Christ who would be able to do that for absolutely anybody. What I am going to leave you with is the mindset of constant improvement, constantly learning, constantly doing better, always trying to do more, and more in the sense of spacing out all of your ideas and all of your like abilities. So don't just go all in on fitness. Don't just go all in on work. There's periods where you will, and there's periods where you can, but don't make that your lifelong mission of this is what I'm going to do forever and my life is never going to change from this point, because it will. Try and learn, try and grow, and constantly get better. If you want my help, if you want my advice, you can go to the lock-in protocol. First link in the description. You can sign up to my newsletter. You'll get this entire course, plus all of the bonus stuff. There's literally 5+ hours at least of bonus content of just, we do webinars and live teachings and all this stuff. Just, it's super high value, the community. I recommend you join it instantly, but I appreciate your time. I appreciate you for watching all the way through. You're a true action taker and you have my respect. I'll shake your hand through the camera. I hope to talk to you inside the protocol. My name has been Brandon. Keep doing the best, doing your best. Trust God. Signing off.